gonna dedicate this video to Apple Tomato Face. Thank you so much for helping me with Chalice stuff, and for helping me with Parasite of Kos. I got really impatient and started the DLC at level 40 and was bashing my head against Maria at level 60, and they gave me a lot of advice and told me where to find some good gems to help my build. I started a new character over again, so I was missing a lot of runes and gems and a bunch of other stuff. I've been really behind school because of my health issues, and I wanted to thank you guys for checking in on me on Tumblr and other places to make sure that I'm okay. I'll probably talk about it a little bit later if I have time, but I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the video. So thank you so much for all your guys' support. I don't really have a whole lot of time to like get super into you know, like challenge runs and stuff like that like I used to with Demon Souls, so it's been kind of rough because I want to really sink my teeth into something, but I can't. But for now, let's start on what I've kind of figured out so far. It might be subject to change once I find more items, so just a heads up. So I guess once upon a time there was a sort of like a fishing village, a seafaring village, and Kos, it's kind of unclear whether or not Kos visited them often, because some of the villagers that took the form of snails pray to Kos, and it's unclear if it was revered, or if Kos just like died and washed up on shore. Because it says in the Kos parasite item that Kos did wash up on shore, but it's unsure whether or not Kos had a presence in the village beforehand. The blanket fish man says that the Bergamo scholars committed a sin, and that could be one of two things. It could be that they were potentially responsible for Kos, or it could be that Kos washed up on shore, and according to the brew item, it says that it was searched for eyes. So I'm assuming something happened along the lines of Kos potentially blessed Rom with eyes. The Bergamo scholars wanted more eyes and started scraping up the skulls of people to find the eyes, and sort of violated and pillaged the town. It's unclear what sequence of orders this happened in, or, you know, if Kos had a relationship with any of them. That's up to your interpretation. I'm just going off the item descriptions, black and white, saying Kos washed up on shore. It had an effect on the villagers, and the Bergamo scholars came in and killed all the villagers to find eyes, in addition to trying to figure out what the deal is with the corpse. And either way, over time, I'm assuming the Kos parasites had an effect on the villagers. We start to see snail people, and whale people, and the fish people, and the blanket fish people. You know, they're all just chilling. So they're kind of hanging out, and the blanket fish man that we meet at the very beginning, if you're wearing the milk root rune, he tells you a fancy story about how Yarnum and the Bergamo scholars were cursed after what they did to the fish people. Or originally at the time they were humans, because if you look around the town, there are big piles of human bodies that I'm assuming were the product of the Bergamo scholars killing everybody. And if you look at the brew item, it is a human skull, and it says that it was searched for eyes. So I'm assuming that the fish people obviously like changed over time. But he was saying that, you know, Yarnum was cursed. And if you actually, like, Apple Tomato Face had to point this out to me, and I'm too blind, I was too blind to see it. But if you pop out of the clock tower, you're above water, so you're above this line of what I'm assuming is the curse, and you're able to sort of like look down, and if you look to your right or your left, towards the ocean, if you look down you could actually see the rooftops of the Yarnum city. And another thing to support that Apple pointed out was when you pick up the Whirligig Saw in the Hunter's Nightmare at the very beginning of the DLC, so when you're down here, a snail falls from the sky and lands in front of you. So it kind of shows that this level exists above that level. And this has happened in other Souls games before. For example, the old one's domain area boss room thing in Demon Souls, you go below what looks like a church tower into a big open ocean with a clear sky. So it's not uncommon for different planes of reality to sort of exist on top or below one another. It's kind of Miyazaki's thing. So since we know that the hunters were established after the Bergenwar scholars kind of did their thing, it seems like not a lot of the people of Yharnam knew that they were underwater or in this cursed land. They just kind of were experiencing this hunt, and the Elder Ones kind of becoming involved in their lives and all this other stuff going on. And I think that that was sort of the curse, you know? That was the curse the fishmans wanted to happen. So, Maria is performing experiments in the Healing Church so people can become emissaries or can communicate with the Old Ones, and that they can find sort of a common ground to, I guess, talk to one another. But obviously as you go through the Astral Tower research hall, you realize that all of them begin hearing the sounds of the ocean, and I believe that that's them becoming sort of like cognizant of the fact that they're underwater. And so Maria kind of figures out the secret of this clock tower, that it exists above the curse and she can exit it and go to the fish town. She goes and sees sort of the pillaging and all the stuff that had happened, and she gets mad and she throws her sword down a well. It's sort of established that she's a descendant of the queen, Annalise, the Vilebloods, so she doesn't like that. She actually denounces, she doesn't like that aspect of herself, and I think that when she sort of realizes like all the suffering she's caused in the research hall, and then all the suffering that was caused by the Bergenwar scholars, she chooses to sort of denounce and sort of like stop doing what she was doing. If you go to the research hall and talk to the patients, it seems like they're asking for Maria, as if she sort of abandoned them. She sort of locked herself up in the clock tower and is just like, I'm not going to do this anymore. And she threw her sword down the well. Even though she still fights you with it, but that's what happens. If you disrupt her when she's sort of in her corpse state, she says a corpse should be left alone, or should well be left alone. And I think that she's referring to the Bergenwar scholars' fascination with Koss's corpse, who had been washed up. I think it's kind of in relation to that. Obviously she looks like a corpse when you come and find her, but I think that's sort of a lesson about curiosity, and the pursuit of knowledge, which is the whole, you know, the whole storyline. So she's sad, and then also obviously, like, this is pretty obvious. It wasn't obvious to me at first because I didn't look at her with the monocle, but the voice actress is the same as the doll, and then when you kill Maria, the doll has a special dialogue with you about how she no longer feels shackled to something. She kind of feels like relief, and it seems like Maria is Guillermo's apprentice, despite the bones saying that the apprentice was a he. I definitely think it was Maria, because Maria uses the hunter's bone to teleport, and the doll also prays to her grave in particular within the hunter's dream. Quite often. She doesn't really pray to any of the other graves. And you know it's her grave because that's where you actually find that hunter's bone. I think that's it. I think that's all that I kind of got from it. It looks like the orphan of Koss, like the little shadow of itself after you kill him, is a lot different looking than like his physical form. And I think that like his original form was the black. Like, he should look more alien-like. He shouldn't look human-like, and I don't know why he looks like a human. Fun fact, his weapon is definitely an intact ovary, but an ovary of something that lays eggs. So if you look at like a chicken ovary or a reptile ovary, kind of has a lot to do with him. I think it's symbolic, you know, of him kind of like sort of fighting a miscarriage, or, you know, I don't know what that would be called if the mother and the baby both die. Not sure, but yeah, so you kind of end the nightmare that is associated with the curse on Yharnam. And that is it. I didn't really get too much from, like, I had a lot of questions asking me about the Numerians, and I didn't really get too much of that aside from, like, maybe the Numerians. I actually don't know. I don't know, because I don't know how long ago the Numerians existed in relation to Yharnam and the Bergenwar scholars. Seems like they found the tombs and then named Yharnam after this ancient queen, so it actually happened before. So it seems like there's some other story going on there. I still want to see if the engagement ring has any use in the game whatsoever, so there's a lot of stuff that I have questions about, but I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let's see. still recording, so I'm assuming you have enough memory left. I went in for my sleep study and I haven't gotten the results yet. My primary care physician and the neurologist that I work with, one thinks I'm having sleep seizures, the other thinks that I'm having, that I'm narcoleptic, but I don't have what's called cataplexy, so I don't have the falling over thing. I just fall asleep, you know, but my body doesn't lose muscle tone, and I don't collapse or anything. So we'll see what happens with the results of the sleep study, and if that doesn't work, I'm most likely going to be tested for Lyme disease and other things too, so, because I'm in a lot of pain and sleep a zillion hours all the time, so, yeah, that's that. So I'll keep you guys updated, and hopefully I'll start to feel better soon. I'm streaming a lot on Twitch still, when I can, when I'm feeling okay, so, thank you guys for watching, bye.